I lived with a Trump-supporting Republican in Northern California who I would say one of the few. This is in Marin County. This is in North Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area. And she voted for Trump. And this is in 2016. She voted for Trump. And I had been very much for Bernie Sanders when the election was not yet gone into the presidential election cycle, but the DNC was still voting and whatnot. And what I realized was that ultimately, after the election process had ended and we had a lot of time together, I had built a really, really close friend. Here she was, 72-year-old lady, and I was in my 20s, from very opposite worlds, from politics to just how we even looked at business to how we looked at family. It's just very, very different people. And yet, she was the closest friend I had. I mean, we absolutely adored each other. We were best friends. We would go out to dinner a few nights a week. She would do my laundry. I'd do the dishes, etc., etc. And I realized the reason we were still able to get along was because we had time. And that's so hard to tell people who want a quick solution to all of this. But the reality is, if you knock on someone's door today, your neighbor, and you begin to build that relationship and you offer some type of food and you sit down with them. Of course, now COVID even makes things a lot more complicated, right? But if we give ourselves that space and we make that space constant enough where they not only just know us by our first name, but they begin to understand our father's health issue and why my cousin comes on Fridays because he comes, from a difficult family, and how I need help with XYZ, etc. And they begin to paint the picture of a real person as opposed to, hey, this is someone with this political view and it's a full stop there. You allow for a real relationship to be built. And with my Trump-supporting best friend, as a Bernie-supporting interfaith activist, with each passing year, our relationship became stronger and stronger and stronger. And this was the type of person who walked into my room the first week that I was living with her, who said, hey, I just watched this thing on Fox News about ISIS. What do you know about ISIS? Right? And I'm thinking oh my God, this is the most offensive thing someone has ever told me. But every day I stayed and lived with her, every day she was able to see me and begin to realize this Mohammad is someone that I can trust, someone that I can speak to, and someone that I can build a relationship with. And so this is unfortunately a very difficult thing to say to anyone, because in today's day and age, especially as there's this anti-Asian wave happening right now in San Francisco and LA and New York and in all of these cities across the United States, the best thing you can do is to go and make sure that your neighbor who identifies as Asian American, first of all, is safe, and that you begin building a relationship that lasts indefinitely, and you begin to see them for who they are. It's tough in this day and age, but this is really I see the solution to it, because every time I've done that, it's only been a very fruitful relationship moving forward that's opened up me to entirely new communities.
Alrighty, friends, if you liked what you heard in that little snippet and you feel inspired, make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube and head over onto your favorite podcast player to look for the Impact Everywhere podcast to find more inspirational guests just like this every single week. My name is Benjamin Von Wong, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay positive, because impact is everywhere.